Ang padlock, saan ang padlock nito? May padlock nito.
Napupok siya eh. Yung nga pumasok bigla eh. Somebody whacked him on the head.
It was more of the same in the countryside, like Tarlac province, home of the warlord and presidential crony, Eduardo Cojuangco.
I expect the situation to get worse because they are picking and closing all the ballots already and already peeling up the tally seats. And in those places which were left peaceful by me, I heard that they would go there, and so I am preparing to go to all those places. They would like to have the inhabitants, the voters, vote openly in the presence of the captain. The first hours are generally peaceful. It is only when they found out that the people were voting massively for Cory that they started to make trouble.
From start to finish, it was the silent might of a united people against the arrogance of duplicity and firepower. The Filipino people had taken their votes seriously, daring the state to frustrate their will.
Akapin niya, baka mawala yung balota.
This particular scene would repeat itself throughout the country, even if guns often decided the contest, like what happened to the former governor of Antique province. In many places, the canvassing of returns was subjected to suspicious and unexplained delay, but the Filipino people were ready to camp out. As polling places closed and early returns came in, the NAMFREL headquarters became the nerve center for feedback to the people's gigantic effort to express their true will. Two separate pictures would emerge from the NAMFREL tally boards and those of the government's Commission on Elections. Where NAMFREL showed Aquino and Laurel way ahead, the COMELEC, despite its high technology, would show the opposite. The media manipulation that had bedeviled 13 years of martial law and the whole electoral campaign would now be the crucial pawn in the battle for credibility. Passions would be fanned by the immediate statements of the leading contenders.
Despite of the massive fraud and intimidation, I am still leading. So I also said I can be magnanimous in victory.
We have won by about 2 million, and they claim that they have won without any figures.
I'm just waiting for Mr. Marcos to concede.
That is the most impossible thing that you can do.
Well, it is very evident to me that I'm being cheated out of the election. I will not accept anybody's proclamation.
Well, you don't run for president and then say, these are my figures. I stand by them, and if anything conflicts with them, I don't agree with it. I'll cause trouble. I will not follow the constitutional process.
The conflict would be set to flame by a supposed dialogue between NAMFREL and COMELEC officials on the government television station.
I personally was not in favor of a quick count or a tabulation by any private organization, because I always insisted as member of the commission that the tabulation of advanced election results is purely and solely the prerogative of the Commission on Elections.
In most instances, the election registrar was not available at the office and therefore was not available to verify the precinct tally sheet.
That is not true. They were in their offices.
They were performing their duties, but they were not in the place where the verification had been previously
They could not authenticate because you did not submit this
That is not
present
correct,
tally
sir.
form to this
I'm
election
sorry.
registrars.
That is not
Okay.
correct.
We asked these registrars.
Both of you two gentlemen
The
have...
teachers in Quezon City
It's
were
unfair to this
complaining.
registrar to be charged.
During this last hour, I have been witnessing the quarrel of the body with its arm.
AMFREL is an elitist organization.
We'll get to
It
the...
believes it's an extra-legal and supra-constitutional body.
Mr.
They believe, you know,
Mr.
they should be able to dictate to the
Okay.
people of this country what the people of this country should believe about our elections. Mr. Concepcion said that NAMFREL is not elitist. Mr. Concepcion, meron ba kayong mangsasaka sa inyong board of directors ng NAMFREL? Meron?
Alam po ninyo, napakarami ng ating mga sumasama sa
Sa
NAMFREL
board of
ay
directors,
naghihirap.
tinatanong ko sa mga the ones who lead
Ang
and direct
liderato po
organization.
ng mga labor unions ay kasama namin. Ang liderato po ng mga national organizations at ang mga kasama
Meron
po
ho
nila.
ba kayong mangingisda sa inyong board of directors ng NAMFREL? Wala ho, kundi puro kayo milyonaryo. Mr. Concepcion milyonaryo, Mr. Paterno
Mr. Cruz.
milyonaryo.
Stop.
Who authorized you? From where do you derive your authority to speak for the Filipino people? I mean, who authorized you? Who elected you?
It's a good point that we would seriously consider, and if the Batasan says all counts must stop, certainly we will abide by that.
If the Batasan says this, you will abide by it?
Certainly.
All right,
I
we've
don't
got
think...
that on the record then. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
The controversy would rise to conflagration with the walkout on the night of February 9 by 38 computer technicians from the COMELEC Tabulation Center.
Linda, ano talaga meron talagang kalokohan or words to that effect, no? Meron talagang kalokohan. Tapos sabi ko, bakit? Iba yung pinapalabas nila sa tally board, sa printout. Tapos sabi ko, are you sure? Oh, kasi si Jules Lapitan, siya yung nag-generate kasi nung National Summary Report. Ako nag-generate yun Kaya once in a while, I casually glance, no? Yung compare. Yung hindi naman nata sa matter of policy, but parang napansin niyo bakit biglang 3 million, mga ganun ba? Ang tawag dito, 2. Kung bag yan sa program, bakit region 2 and 3 or 1 and 2? Basta 2 regions lang ang naapektuhan. Kung may problema or kung may quirk talaga yung program, it should have been consistent for all regions. But 9 o'clock, biglang na-correct. Nag-match. 9 a.m. Sunday. So sabi nila, okay And then they noticed that there were foreign visitors. Tapos nagpa-generate ng copies of the printout, several copies. Kasi yun ang binigay, in-issue out sa foreign guests. So, tama nga naman. When you look at the printout and you compare it to the tally board, they match. After they left, after the foreigners left, iba na naman, mali na naman.
In the light of this smoking gun evidence, the head of the American Observer delegation would be clear if cautious in his departure statement.
We have spent the past 5 days in the Philippines observing the presidential election process. We have observed the passionate commitment of Filipinos to democracy, and we applaud that commitment. Sadly, however, we have witnessed and heard disturbing reports of efforts to undermine the integrity of the process, both during the voting and the vote counting process, which is still underway.
Confusion was now upon a nation ready to pound at the doorsteps of the state legislature, the Batasan Pambansa, another Marcos-controlled institution. Now the people would confront another monument to megalomania, a rubber stamp for a dictator's decrees, also the official canvassing body for electoral returns. The people wanted the Batasan to express their will.
Seen goons. And we asked the goons where they got the cards. They wouldn't tell us. They just told us from the boss.
Unable to get in, they gave the assemblymen a rousing welcome at the exit. Till the end of the official tabulation, the people would hope against hope that the pomp and circumstance would somehow find its way to telling the truth about what the nation really wanted. They wanted opposition assemblymen to be heard.
Concepcion, Cuenco.
Among the several spurious, fake, and manufactured certificates of canvass is the one covering the city of Danao, which is one of the component cities of Cebu province. The figures of the National Census and Statistics Office reveal that the actual population of Danao City, including newly born babies, is only 58,000. The KBLs were able to register as voters in Danao City 58,000 people, and 58,000 people voted for Marcos according to their tally. Only 230 voted for Cory Aquino.
Well, the election that was conducted in my province will be recorded in history as one of the dirtiest elections ever conducted.
With the formal start of canvassing, clear evidence of fraud would stare the Parliament in the face.
We would like to manifest, Mr. Speaker, that the certificate of canvass does not contain the required seal and that it is not folded in accordance with law.
Outside, there would be another vigil for truth, but truth was not forthcoming. Not from a Parliament whose very speaker was also the ruling party's campaign coordinator.
Therefore, the Speaker recommends that the Batasang Pambansa proclaim Ferdinand E. Marcos as the duly elected President of the Philippines and Arturo M. Tolentino as the duly elected Vice President of the Philippines.
Ronald Reagan, a personal friend to Marcos, was the last straw.
We're concerned about the violence that was evident there and the possibility of fraud, although it could have been that all of that was occurring on both sides. But at the same time, we're encouraged with the fact that it is evident that there is a two-party system in the Philippines and a pluralism that I think would benefit their people. And we're glad to see that particular thing happen, and we'll wait until we hear the outcome.
Long had the nation waited. Generously had it shed its blood. Sadly listening to lies and guns denying the Philippines of its finest hour. Truly, this was the dirtiest and bloodiest elections in the nation's history. Now the Filipinos had finally learned that there was only one thing left to them, their unity. 9 days after the elections, they were marching again, answering Cory Aquino's call to a proclamation of the true victors, the Filipino people. With them once more were the bishops, now coming closer to their original prophetic role.
Kami ang mga obispo